The whole country's on drugs. The whole country. All the rich ladies in Alamo Heights, they're all on drugs. Everybody's on drugs. Your teachers, your priests, your parents, everybody is. And when I say everybody's on drugs, one drug or another. It might be the tea at Bill Miller's. It might be real expensive pharmaceuticals that proper church ladies are on. But everybody's on something. Everybody has their poison. On my father's side, my dad came from Rome in 1960. He was a pilot in the Italian Air Force. There's a lot of international people in San Antonio really because of the military. And my father, who was a pilot in the Italian Air Force, went through language training for English at Lackland. And so he met my mother, and there's a few of us here that are half Tex-Mex and half Italian. They looked alike, they had the same religion, but my father and my mother had different education backgrounds and different classes. So there was a lot of class issues in where I came. Hey, I'm being interviewed. So anyway, I grew up in Boerne, Texas, in the white suburbs in a German town. I became what every immigrant wants their son to be, like a lawyer or doctor. I was a lawyer for 20 years. And most of my friends, when I came out of the closet, most of my friends were gay and artists, and I wanted that lifestyle. I always wanted that lifestyle, but as a son of an immigrant and as a Mexican American, you didn't go to college to become an artist. In San Antonio, 25 years ago, the word Mexican wasn't even said in public. It was the N-word. Mexican is a culture, it's a country, it's a nationality. We didn't even know what we could call ourselves. There were no Mexican students at UTSA. There was a few bourgeois Mexican Americans and half-breeds like myself. But we were a culture that had been so incredibly suppressed and taught to be ashamed of ourselves. And no one told us we had any validity. When I became a lawyer, there was all these rich people that loved Mexican culture, but they loved the form of the culture. But what we had, what the white rich people didn't have, was the substance of the culture. We didn't have the altars, but we had the altars. It might be a cake from H-E-B that was kept in the plastic on top of the refrigerator and you weren't supposed to touch it. Or it might be that my mother thought all our cats were reincarnated spirits of our ancestors. Where did that come from? She wasn't taught that in school. She wasn't taught that by the priest. That was ancient things that had been passed down. That was the form of our culture. When I quit being a lawyer, I opened a botanica, which is a store that sells herbal remedies and medicines and religious articles. And overnight, I was getting business from all over the world. Art Pace at the time was putting millions of dollars into the art scene here, and the curators, and locally, my art was made fun of. I would tell people that my botanica is an art form. It's a social media, social sculpture, and they'd laugh at me. Even my friends, my so-called friends who were professors and all that. But it took outside curators to understand what I was doing was really avant-garde and important. And I got put in the most important show in the country for beginning artists, the Whitney Biennial. I stayed, I got a gallery, and I traveled all over the world in important shows for about 6 or 7 years. I won the Rome Prize. I'm the first Mexican American and one of the first San Antonians, if not the first, to win the Rome Prize in 150 years. I now, through the internet, put my computer on before I get out of bed, and I get 3 gigs a day from other people posting my paintings. So it's totally revolutionized art. If you make an art form that people want to buy, that people connect to, that's affordable, you're going to do well. And there's no excuse not to. Unfortunately, one of the lines of my work is at the right place at the right time. You know, woe to those artists who are so sincere, but their art is truly ahead of its time, or maybe even behind its time. But I'm lucky. But you got to come up with a scheme of who you want to be, what are you doing, and why. What does it look like? What does it taste like? What does it feel like? And how are you going to pay it? How are you going to pay for it? You're going to wait tables at Liberty Bar? Are you going to marry a rich woman? Are you, going to work at the Gap? I don't know. You got to figure it out. One way is, like my way, is make a lot of paintings that people can't resist at prices that are very good.
Hey.